Hi all! Today I'm going to do a read on Taylor Swift. There's a bit of psychicness that goes into this, actually a lot, because I just feel the energy of what I want to say. But if you know me, I also pull just tarot because it's a divination and there's some visuals with it. So yesterday you would have got the video, hopefully caught the video where I was discussing Venus currently at play in terms of relationships as well. Now with that, something I also wanted to add is that some of us might be feeling quite wounded at this moment in time because Chiron is also at play, okay? So if you're feeling extra sensitive or vulnerable around your weaknesses, certain areas, depending on where Chiron is, you might be picking at those areas a little extra, but Venus is helping us around the relationship side. This also means any relationships that are not serving us have been toxic. There's going to be stuff that aligns you to let them go. Okay, and the rest I've more or less said in the video. I also mentioned about topics, and I said I will be doing a famous star because something around that doesn't make sense, or there's something around that, and it was Taylor Swift. Now I know I'm probably going to get, my channel's not very big, but I might get some Swifties coming through. What I do want to say is I've never hated Taylor Swift. I don't really hate anyone. I could be a fan or I'm not a fan, but I'm never an extremist. Maybe when I was a teenager, I'd have posters on my wall. I don't know. I don't think we have that anymore. There's showing how far back I'm going, but I think it would be in other countries as well. You have a poster on your wall of your favorite, I don't know, pop star, actor, whatever it is. And, but I don't think Taylor Swift was around then. I haven't looked into her astrology, okay, but what I do know is that she's a Sagittarius. That's what I do know. In this reading, I'm going to really look at, is she overrated, and what is going on with the fame side of stuff. Now, why I said I don't hate anyone, basically because I'm not a fan, but I'm also not a non-supporter. I'm just very neutral. If someone says they love Taylor Swift, great. I might actually say why, because I'm just intrigued. But it's not something that I'm like, oh my God, I hate her, or oh my God, I love her. No. So I'm coming from a neutral position. But I'm talking about energies here. I'm also probably going to touch on other stuff. Like, I think there was the Super Bowl or NFL recently. I know that it was said that she's dating a football player, but I feel like he's a rugby player. So I don't know if this is the football, you know, because I think rugby in America is football and then football is soccer. So is he actually a rugby player, what we would know in the UK, and a football player in the US, or is he actually a soccer and football player? I feel like he's more of a rugby. He's quite built, isn't he? Now, I haven't really, when I do an energy, it's always good to have like, to meditate on the picture of the person or just to look at the person, but I haven't really done that because I've seen her, you know, I've seen her picture, I've seen his picture. Is it Travis Kelce, or yeah, if I've said that wrong. So I'll be picking up on that energy, but I might do the relationship separate if that's something of interest. But I do know without the relationship, I don't think is going to last forever. I don't think it's one that's going to be, it's got good potential, but I think it's one of those that's not going to be a healthy one in the long run. But I need to do a separate reading and tap into that. So here I want to know, is she overrated? What is happening with this amount of fame? So when I looked to see her sun sign, just to think, it was that she's born in December, I believe, and she's born in 1989. That brings up a Sagittarius. Now, when I see her pictures in the past, when I've seen her pictures, that doesn't surprise me because she has this element of, you know, like she might do a wink, sort of like Saggy energy, but she's not like I guess Leo are more out there. I'm here, I'm at the forefront, okay? She does it in a, she's more a reserved way of being at the forefront. She's not reserved, but she's not like, I'm jumping in the front and I'm being flamboyant. You know, so for example, another Sag would be, I believe, Nicki Minaj. Nicki is very much more in your face about stuff, very much more bolder, let's say. Taylor likes to be bold, but she's got a more of a feminine feel to that boldness, if you understand what I'm trying to say. If not, let me know in the comments. I'm not sure I can explain it any differently. She started off, what I believe, in country music, and she didn't really find the fame there. And I think along the years, what I've seen is that her love life has really been a focus of media attention. And I think it's also been this big focus of media attention because she seems to have taken, her songs seem to be tied around her relationships, her love life, that sort of stuff. And maybe that's what's made her so relatable for people, for her fans. And it is such a spotlight focus, you know, especially when failed relationships have then really influenced her songs, her songwriting. She's like a billionaire. So if anyone doesn't know, she's a billionaire. And I think she made like $825 million in like the most in that decade of other people. So, you know, some of that I didn't really realize, right? To the extent of what she's, but I know she's big because everyone knows her. But the amount that we're talking about, and in 20, you know, in 20, for the 2025 top number, yes, in 2025, I'm talking about 2025. Number 5 top influenced women. She think top influenced women. She's coming in at at number 5 when the previous year of when they rate people, she was like, I think she was further down, at least 15. She actually struggled to break through when she first started. Like I said, she started with country music. And she also was critiqued for her singing being very plain. She also struggled, by the way, with her breath work. I don't know if you're very much aware of this. She struggled on like the vocal talent side, her voice, and when to take a breath and when to kind of try and not be monotone. And she is quite plain voiced. And this doesn't mean it's bad or anything like that. Well, basically what I'm saying, she's not a Whitney Houston, a Celine Dion, or a Aretha Franklin, where you can see the talent that maybe makes sense for the amount of fame. Now, we do know, though, that a lot of people have become famous because they are performers. And I think that's where Taylor Swift, as opposed to her voice, in comparison to the individuals I've said, please don't come for me, Swifties, is not as strong, but it's her performance and her lyrics that are maybe relatable, you know, for people that have contributed to her being able to have this success. That's what I'm sensing. Because it was like she would sing and it'd be it would be same voice of her talking. Like you could match them if you didn't have the person or wasn't told who the person is. Sorry, I had to have a drink of water. What else did I want to say? So it's the actual experiences that she brings through her words and her performance that is a stronger side. Well then, is this same music going to help her in the future? I think there's going to be a transition. And I do think there's someone behind her, and I do think this other thing that's working in the background, helping her success. And we're going to see if that comes through for me to elaborate further on what I want to say. But then again, repeated topics can always be relatable too. We go through those cycles, but will she gain new fans? And will some fans drop off because they're not going through that cycle and new fans come in? Will her audience remain within a single group, age group? Will it diverse? Will she rebrand, basically? Now, this guy that she's with, Travis, I feel that it's interesting to see what astrology he is, but I feel like he's got a softer tone zodiac sign. But I also feel like there's a bit of hot-headedness there. And if she's like, depending on her moon sign and her stelliums, if she's also got, I mean, Sag can be quite upfront with what they feel is right, okay? They're not someone to live in a fakeness of what doesn't feel right. But again, how much that is tolerated is down to also maybe her moon sign and her stelliums and his as well. But I feel like he's got a softer tone, and although he's a big muscular guy, there is there, and I feel like there's something also about, although he's softer and he appreciates the finer things of beauty and harmonizing and harmony in relationship, I do feel like there's a spark there of hot-headedness that they can clash on. And also, I wonder if he's intellectually as intelligent as maybe the norm. Like, is he not the brightest tool in the toolbox, let's say? I am picking up on the intellect side, and that doesn't mean that he's necessarily intellectually I wouldn't necessarily go as challenged, or like what people would say in simple terms, dumb, but he is not on the intellectual high spectrum, I would say. So there's a bit of a thing there that I pick up on already. Card, what I was saying, I wonder if there's something else in the works in the background. The card that helps me clarify that I knew would come out has come out. Look at this. So why is she so famous? I wonder if you can see those two cards. I hope you can. Let's just move these up a little bit. The other thing I wanted to say about her is, though, although her life is in the spotlight, I don't think you see her true personality shine through. She has this kind of reservedness, which I was mentioning at the beginning, in her energy, although she's also not showing she's reserved, if that makes sense. I don't know how her family dynamics are, like her background. Did she grow up with a mum and dad? Is she kind of like got, in terms of siblings, a brother? I don't know who she's got, but a brother. I feel with her and Travis, the things that could support them is the stellium. I also feel like she's got a stellium in Capricorn. I feel that energy for her. You know, a lot of her breakthrough, like I was channeling at the beginning, what I feel psychically is because her stuff has been relatable, in addition to sort of her heartbreak of her relationships. And that is a given gift from the universe for her to work on, to plant that seed, to then reach her, you know, absolute heart fulfillment and make choices around her career where she's able to move in a very powerful way on her career and celebrate her wins constantly. I do feel there's something around her childhood and her home life, possibly a past life, but I'm going to keep it in this lifetime, around her childhood, and it could be around the father, I'm not sure, right? It could also be around siblings, but there's something around her childhood that does get to her sometimes. It could be trauma. I don't know what she's been through. It would be something, you know, like I said, I've only seen pictures. I haven't really even watched an award show where she's received an award or given an award or been at an award show. So I haven't even tapped in her energy there. I did mention that I think there's something in the background. I do think that she does have someone, or she has had someone in the past that, you know, a lot of us, you know, not a lot of us, but for example, I can do cord cutting for people as a service, and I think she's actually had something done by someone quite powerful in terms of getting that career kicked off, for the amount of fame she's got, not getting the career kicked off, for the amount of fame she's got. And I think what is, you know, something like, for example, J-Lo, I think, did that at some point in her career, and at the moment I'm not sure she's in touch with that same person. Let's call it a white witch. So white witch, so it's not a bad, so that you know that it's not like black magic. But let's say someone you go to that does this sort of thing that helps propel you beyond explanation. Now, I do think she has hang on, I'm getting something here. I do think that she does want to have a marriage and a child with Travis. I do think she sees that long term with him. And I wonder if she actually sees him as her soulmate. But at the same time, I just feel like there is love there, but I feel like they're also, it might be just getting to them that they're losing the essence of a relationship, and it's more or less, yeah, we're together. I just feel there's a bit of negative, like unhealthy codependency here. And I think some of it is around also the fame that they can reach together. And if they don't watch that, that is going to hinder the relationship. But I just don't feel that their relationship is going to be one that leads to a lifetime. I feel like when she was at a certain point in time waiting for her career to kick off, that she was really struggling with toxic energies or like toxic thoughts, and just in a bit of delusion around her career sort of springing off and the wheel to turn in her favor. Well, now that it's turned, obviously it's going in a very fast pace, and I think she does like that. Look at that. She does like that. What I was getting at the beginning and what I thought was happening is actually happening. Now, when I think of, like, I think it was recently, I saw like a thumbnail, either they were at the NFL or is he part of the NFL? And it's kind of like, or the Super Bowl. There was something in that news, like, were they invited, and people were like they were invited just because of fame or something like that. What is it? Something happened. I really don't know, but what I'm getting is that, yes, wherever they went, they were invited to add fame to it by whoever obviously the organizers are. It was to help add fame, and obviously, and I also think the NFL will start to use this sort of strategy, not only with them, but also with any of their players, where they bring more attention to the NFL. Because if you think of the NFL, I don't think it was really spoken about as much. Like, probably now it's come to people's realization a lot more than it was in the most recent years across different countries, because of Taylor Swift, and then secondly her relationship with Travis, not because of Travis being part of the NFL if he is. And then with the Super Bowl, I get that it was something similar with, I don't know, but I feel like they're going to be, these organizations are going to be, which they do, you know, they try to invite the top tier people to deliver awards, but get that attention, especially when people don't always, it's not like before that a lot of people run to concerts and shows, and especially in terms of TV and stuff like that. Before, you know, you'd watch the MTV Awards religiously. I don't think that is as popular as it used to be. So I do think that there is something about getting the most watched, and I think a lot of these things are going to be using these tactics now. I do think that Taylor Swift needs to be careful, because I think there's a certain energy that might have helped her in the past. It could have been a Virgo, okay? It could have been, you know, someone who's helped her in the past, and I think she needs to be careful not to step on their toes. So for example, if you've had, I'm not saying this has happened, but if you've had a media icon in the industry that's extremely powerful help you on something, or they still do in the background, and you're becoming like, I don't need them anymore, or you sort of like, not losing the respect for them, but you're not giving them the attention that you used to when you was in a more vulnerable state, when you needed them. I think I think she needs to be careful not to step on someone's toes, basically. I'm getting that energy that she could step on someone's toes, and this person is more powerful. She needs to peacefully walk away from whatever whatever this energy is. I'll probably do a further reading. I'm just picking up on that. And I do think there's, you know, for this whole, look at that. what I was mentioning. Don't stand on the person's toes. It's not going to turn out well. I don't know who this person is. It could be a feminine energy. The other thing I'm getting is that there's a bigger mission with her. There's a bigger mission in terms of like Taylor Swift is known, but it's kind of like, even if you went to an old people's home and you said Taylor Swift, no one can deny it. That's the bigger mission that's being played at here with Taylor Swift. And she knows about it. It's not something that it's a magic or it's something, no. The mission, why is she so big and what is happening is there's a bigger mission here. And I think she's virtually at that stage. Now again, I feel like I'm rewinding to the beginning of this video when I was channeling and sort of psychically just telling you what I was feeling. But I think I'm going to end it here. I don't know if this is a 10-minute long reading. If it's longer than that, great. And if you enjoyed it, let me know. And this is what I have for you on Taylor Swift. Look out for the next one if you're enjoying them. You can check your sign readings as well. And if you want the love readings as the bonus additional content, I'll always do the general readings. Check that out. Look out for the next content or the next read that's on different topics if you enjoy this. And yeah, take care and bye everyone.